Just want to let you lot know that if you're watching this clip on the Fozcast YouTube channel, the full episode is now available to watch exclusively on Spotify, and it's free. Come on. I think the Everton fans, when it's going well, they're all on your side and helping out. They're as good as any fans in the country. They're similar to like a Newcastle or something like that.
There's certain historic clubs, isn't there? I think it's a little bit to do with the old stadiums as well. Like Goodison and St James's. Like Ellen Road, Ellen Road's probably, I always, as a fan, felt it a bit more hostile. Yeah. But like, Goodison. Like, once it gets rocking.
I think there's certain clubs and fan base, it just feels like it's actually their lives. And nothing against other clubs, but when you speak to and listen to Everton fans, it literally is their life.
It is, isn't it? They live for football. They live for the weekend.
It's the same at other clubs, I'm sure, like Leeds as well and other big clubs. But for them, you speak to them, it is literally their life is just for that game at the weekend. And it'll make or break their week, building up into the next game.
Yeah, there's a lot of passion, isn't it? So when you sign there, obviously you've had a great career, and then Everton come knocking. It's whether or not it's just nostalgia and historic, because obviously Burnley have been in the Premier League, were in the Premier League for a long time,
and horrible to play against as well.
But Everton, it's horrible. Like they're one of these grand historic English clubs, aren't they? So how did the move come about? When did you first hear about it? And
so I'd had a lot of summers of like, am I leaving? Am I going from Berlin? There was always rumours of me going, and nothing ever sort of worked out. So I wanted to make sure going into that summer that I had something sorted straight away. I was out of contract, so I'd spoke to as many clubs as possible, found out what they thought of me, what I thought of what they were thinking, and then I sat down with Frank, and pretty much initially from sitting with him, I was sold on the whole thing straight away, and I thought, well, I still am. I want to be a part of turning that sort of project from where it was at to when I leave the club, it's in a better place, because they just stayed up that season. We just stayed up last season, but hopefully now we're working our way back up to where the club should be. And when I leave, I want that club to be in a better place it was when I joined.
When you're on a free transfer, I've never been in this scenario, by the way. One, is it a little bit daunting? Yeah. Is it kind of like a step into the unknown? It's like you've got to go and get a new job. You've got to go and meet a whole new changing room full of people. That's the first part. And then secondly, is the location of that club a genuine consideration as well?
It's definitely something I took into consideration. I'm a northern lad, and I was more drawn to being closer to home than I was moving away from home. It's not saying that I would have turned down any other clubs to move away, but it definitely helped that Everton's in the northwest and I can stay near home. The dauntingness, I mean, the worst part was thinking if I get injured in the last 3-4 weeks of my contract at Burnley, then I'm injured. And
if it's a bad one as well.
Yeah, and I've got no club. I remember Alan Judge, little winger. Yeah. He was coming to the end of his deal at Brentford, and he got injured there, and the poor lad's just suffered injuries ever since. And he was going to go to like a big Premier League club or like maybe like a Celtic or someone like that. He got injured and he never got that opportunity to move. So that was something that always played on my mind as well.
I remember he was with you, wasn't he? With Andros Townsend. So obviously Andros had a year left on his deal, didn't he? But he got that such a bad ACL injury and the setbacks that it looked like when Andros came on our podcast, didn't he? He thought for a while at the age he was at, he thought that might be it. But it's great to see him at Luton.
Well, there's been a few players, people like even David De Gea, do you know what I mean? We're talking about somebody who's played friggin' 500 odd Premier League games, and the guy can't, he's like still in his pomp. You would like to think he's still in his pomp, and he can't get a Premier League team,
Well, is it that he can't?
But either way, how mad is it that he spent
mental.
The last 15 years being a pro footballer, doing a day-to-day, and now he's like, just freedom, I can do what I want.
You know, I think the thought of a free transfer sounds amazing, like I can go where I want, I've got freedom, I decide. But then when you get to the situation, it's never as nice as you think it is. Really? I always thought, free transfer, I'll be great, I'll have loads of options, I can pick and choose. I mean, I had a couple of options, but I wasn't like sitting there with like hundreds of offers and thinking, I'll just rifle through these and just see what I can pick out. So it wasn't as nice as I anticipated, like say 6 months earlier when I knew my deal was running out.
I think it's only probably a nice position to be in if you're a top player.
I remember like Ramsey went to Juventus, didn't he? And everyone was like, he got
paid. You better offering 400 what? All right.
Okay. That offer didn't come through to me, unfortunately.
Have you ever wanted to, sorry Ben, just quickly on that, have you ever thought about, I know you've obviously, when you went to Brentford, but you've always kind of been in the northwest where you're from. Have you ever had thoughts about playing abroad or maybe finishing somewhere?
Yeah, I think I'll try to. Yeah. Obviously, if the offers are there, I think I want to play as long as I can. My body feels good right now, so as long as I still feel like this in a few years' time, I'll see what's coming up. But I'll definitely go abroad. I think the MLS is something which really interests me, so we'll see down the line what goes on there.
Yeah, because Chiellini retired this week, didn't he?
He did, didn't he?
A nice little swan song. You talked about it, didn't you? It's tricky with the MLS, though, isn't it? Because the seasons don't.
Yeah.
Because there's that overlap.
It's like a summer season, isn't it?
It's like David De Gea kind of thing. Is he just kind of chilling now, waiting to take some of those big?
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Big spots over there.
I think he'll be all right either way, to be honest with you. Can we have a bit of goalie talk, please? A bit of goalie love.
I love goalies.
Yeah, the goalies are the best, aren't they? Say that, seriously. Goalies are the normal ones, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what they say, yeah. I've played with some incredible goalies. So, yeah, you're probably going to reel some off and I'll say some nice things about
so I'm going to just give you a list of a few that you played. Obviously, Popey, Joe Hart at Burnley, Tom Heaton, Pickers now at Everton. That's a decent little English selection there, isn't it?
Maybe I just play with good goalies. Maybe I'm actually not very good.
They're making
all
you look
the
good,
goalies
mate.
behind me are making me look
That's
all
what
right
it
for all
is.
this time. No, I mean, the four you've just listed there, four of the best in the country. So, yeah, I've played with some top goalies, and they've all got their own strengths in their own different ways, but I think they're all top-end goalies.
People, though, talk to me about. I don't care.
Okay.
I want to know about the people, right?
Okay, well,
like goalies are misunderstood for me. Like people think we're mad, we're weird. I genuinely do think goalies are probably the best. Then it's defenders aren't far behind.
Nah,
And
man.
then the further up the pitch you get, that's when you start to get the
I
whoppers.
can be completely impartial here, right? Goalkeepers are great.
Yes.
However, there are some certain characters, like we've had a lot of goalies on, and they have all been brilliant blokes, but they're quirky. You know, this I wouldn't go as far as saying mad, but they are
Just confident
quirky.
in their own skin. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well, Heat's what a guy he is.
Yeah, he's lovely, isn't he?
He's some guy. I just love speaking to him. Anytime I see him, he gives me a big hug, and I just love speaking to him. He's always dead happy, dead enthusiastic.
Calm. Just nice and calm.
Yeah, Popey, creature. Yeah, just a big creature.
Big creature, what does that mean?
He's just a big creature. If you spent just a day with him, you just think he's a big creature. But some of the things he used to do in training were unbelievable. You just
How hard is it to get the ball past that guy?
The amount of times you'd shoot and think, oh, goal, and you turn away, and then before you know it, oh, what a save! And Popey's just got his big limbs just sticking out to the side and saving it. And then Pickers, he's probably the maddest, to be honest.
Is he? Yeah.
He's just, he's crackers. Off the pitch, he's all right, he's quite calm. On the pitch, he's just bonkers. Yeah. Me and him fall out constantly.
Why?
Because he shouts my name constantly from behind me, so I'm constantly looking at him.
To see if he wants anything.
And then he's just barking at me to bark at someone else. And I can never really understand what he's saying. He's 40 yards away, shouting, like screaming at me. I'm like, will you just come and tell me what you want me to say to the lads? Or are you just going to keep shouting from all the way over there? And it's usually telling me to tell someone else to do better, or he likes saying the word intensity. But he's some goalie, and I think it's just his enthusiasm for the game is why he screams at me so much.
Yeah.
But we fall out all the time.
He loves it as well, don't he?
Did you see him? I love it when he got the ball the other day and he like collapsed on the ground.
Well, that was from the Liverpool one last season, weren't it? Where he did it, and then you remember at the end of the game, Alison, were you playing in that game, by the way?
Was it home or away?
I think it was the Liverpool won 1-0, I think, or something like that. It was one towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I would have played in it. I definitely played in both derbies. I don't remember Jordan doing that. He probably did because he definitely did. He's like that. Yeah, he's on the wind-up constantly.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Thanks everybody for watching. We hope you enjoyed this clip of the Fozcast. If you would like to watch the full episode, it is now available exclusively on Spotify for free.